be launching a tasty pastry. It's a low-carb Pop-Tart. It's got 3 to 4 grams of net carbs, and we love this show. This is our best place to be in LA.
Welcome back to Legendary Foods Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Monday, September 20th, 2021. And let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. Even though I believe titles are a little harder to come by in team sports than they are in individual sports, at the end of the day, measures of greatness of teams and athletes use two things: wins and championships. And if we're using championships, then if Cyd Gillon wins again this year, it'll put her in a place that we like to call Kobe Bryant territory, because she'll have 5 rings, which is the same amount as the late great Hall of Famer. But here's the thing, when Kobe won his 5th back in 2010, he was at the tail end of his prime. Cyd is still in her peak, which means that her championship window is still wide open. She has an opportunity to establish herself as one of the winningest athletes of all time before her career is all said and done. And if she can do that, she will have single-handedly raised the bar for what it means to be great in the figure division. I know that the Arnold is right around the corner now, and that we won't have to wait too much longer to see William Bonac make his season debut. But for those of you who happen to be impatient, hopefully this guest posing clip will be enough to hold you over until then. Within hours of Williams' team releasing this clip last week, the comment section was flooded with people who were ready to hand him the Arnold Classic title right then and there. And even though I usually take stuff like that with a grain of salt, this time there was actually a part of me that thought the people who were saying that were right. When he's on, William is one of the 2 or 3 best bodybuilders on the planet, and he's proven that time and time again. So if he shows up lights out in Columbus, it's hard to see a scenario where anyone can even touch him. If you've been watching this show long enough, then at some point you've heard me say that people need to double down on their strengths. That's why I have to give a special shout out to 3-time Arnold Classic men's physique champ Andre Ferguson, because he isn't just doubling down on his strengths heading into the Olympia, he says he's quadrupling down on everything from now until the Olympia weekend. If you saw the results of the Tampa Pro a few months ago, then you already know that Andre's made an effort to come in a little bit bigger this year, which is something that worked out well for him so far. But if you can keep the size and fullness without giving away anything in the conditioning area, I think that version of Andre is good enough to give anyone in the division a run for their money. If you're like me and you're still trying to figure out who you like as the favorite for the Wellness Olympia title this year, well, maybe this new update from Yarishna Ayala will be enough to help you make up your mind. A few days ago, Yarishna's camp released these update photos, which they say will be the last ones that we see before Olympia weekend. Out of the 3 or 4 athletes who most people consider to be viable contenders this year, Yarishna's probably done the best PR job, putting herself front and center on everyone's feed throughout her prep. And at the end of the day, if the views and the momentum match what she brings to the stage, the chances of her making history as the first Olympia champ feels like they're, well, as good as anyone's. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.